Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. Cory here. So I have another unboxing for us today, and this is the amazing and wonderful Spirit Keepers Tarot, created by the magnificent Benebell. Now, I found Benebell through Ethany last year. You guys, I don't know if I could admire this woman more than I do. I absolutely adore all of her work. I have taken several of her classes now. Her Metaphysician's Journal, or planner, I should say, her Metaphysician's planner that she started in 2017, I was able to pick up last year. Loved it. Am ordering the 2019 version, which is actually out on her website for pre-order. I will link that down below. The Spirit Keepers Tarot is sold out. So I kind of didn't know whether or not I was going to do this unboxing, but I feel like I really wanted to show this glorious deck because it is absolutely magnificent. So we'll dive into it. We'll go through it. She does have a lot of information about this deck on her website. I really encourage you to go check out all of the posts. I watched her as she went through creating this deck. Now, originally, this was only supposed to be available for folks to print on their own, to color. This is a completely black and white deck. The original intention wasn't to make this into a full-fledged deck that she would self-publish, but that's the route that it ended up taking. Seeing this deck come to life was incredible to witness. The way that Benebell works, just these strikes of inspiration, and she just goes and in a flurry just creates. And it was amazing to see, because that's not how I work. So I'm always interested to see how other people work, and it's been amazing. So Benebell anointed each one of these decks. It was a pretty extensive process. Again, she details that out in her posts. So let's just unwrap this guy. Everything's just so carefully handled. Her husband James packed all of these, and it's just amazing to see. So let's open this guy up. Now, it did come with a certificate of authenticity, which Benebell has signed. So as you can see, I have deck number 405 of 1,000. Here is the back of the card. Look at that. Her line work is just so pretty. I love it so much. So here we have, oh, what is this? Okay. Consecrated on All Souls Day, the 2nd of November, 2018. Sun and Jupiter were in Scorpio, Moon in Virgo, North Node, White Moon, Selena, and Hermetic lot of Fortune in Leo, Mercury in Sagittarius. It's going to be a potent deck for mediumship, psychic development, and shamanic journeying, which if you guys have followed me for any length of time, you guys know that those are three things that I have spent a lot of time cultivating over the course of my craft practice. And so I guess it's not really any surprise that that is exactly what was going on when my particular deck was consecrated. She's got a really great knack for identifying, you know, the right deck the right item for the right person. Now, for those of you that don't know very much about Benebell, she has written the Holistic Tarot, the Tao of Craft, and again, she has that Metaphysician's planner that she's been able to issue for the last 3 years. She is an accomplished astrologist, as well as a tarot reader, and a very gifted craft practitioner. So she's got a knack for this type of thing. We've got this gorgeous card here. Okay, so just kind of want to show that off. And we've got, I don't know if this is a poem or some sort of prayer that we have going on here. I don't know if the camera is going to focus on that, but so there's a lot of writing going on there. And then, oh, I ended up with 2. Okay, so our stickers of our little angel here. So we do have the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, 1st edition. I do know that there are, the magnet got stuck to my deck here. So here we are, Spirit Keeper's Tarot. Beneficent in command and word was Isis, the goddess of magical spells. The company of the gods rejoiced at the coming of Horus, the son of Osiris, the triumphant, whose heart was steadfast, son of Isis, heir of Osiris. Khepri, creator of the gods, you are seated upon your throne, illuminating your mother Nut. Bull of Amnut, Thoth, the king of eternity, you are with me. My hair is the hair of Nut, goddess of the sky. My face is the face of Aten, disk of the sun. My eyes are the eyes of Hathor, goddess of joy. My ears are the ears of Wepwawet, god of war. May the eye of Horus protect me, keep me in safety, and may my adversaries fall down headlong before me. Is an excerpt from the Egyptian Book of the Dead on the back of this deck. That is just amazing. And just, can we take a second to appreciate all of the line work that went into this magnificent box here, notwithstanding the deck as well. It's just the amount of work that this woman puts into every single project. I am shocked that the deck was as cheap as it was. I believe it was $65 for everything that you see here, you guys. And we haven't even gotten to the deck yet, which is actually larger than the standard 72 card deck, I believe. So we'll dive into it. On her website, I saw that there were at least 3 different versions of the Fool, the major arcana, because she wanted to illustrate the Fool in each of its archetypes. So we've got this really nice matte box here. Let's open this up. Ooh, and we have even more writing on the side. Okay, so we've got, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And then he shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rapport. Just freaking amazing. It's like this little box is its own sarcophagus, which is wonderful. Here's our little white book. Okay, and let me just show you inside this box. We have Dare to Know. stunning. Oh, and we have gilded edges. Oh, and look at this. So inside the box, I have this amazing illustration. There's so much detail here that it's kind of hard to know where to begin. This is just an amazingly constructed deck. So we have gilded edges here. Here's the back. So, you know, if you work with reversals, this is a reversal friendly back is how I like to refer to them. And yep, we do right off the bat, that's what I meant to say. We do have 3 versions of the Fool, okay? So the top, or there's white borders, I should say, around here. And we have the title of the card written at the top, okay? We also have a lot of symbology here. You guys, a lot of symbols. There's a lot here to discover in each of these cards. So we'll go through them as best we can here. So we have the first archetype that we're looking at is the initiate. Okay. And spirit in search of experience is what we have written at the bottom. Next we have the seeker, spirit in search of science. That rose is just gorgeous. And then we have the keeper, spirit in petition of spirit is what we have written here. And then what so far is probably one of my favorite cards, if not my absolute favorite card, the Magician, the Magus. And we have divinity in man, powers of the spirit. And just the symbology that we have up here, we have planetary symbols. I'm going to have to dive into what the symbol is here in the upper right corner. But there's a lot of symbology going on in each card. And here we have the priestess. We do have the 2 traditional columns. So this deck doesn't necessarily follow strictly the Rider-Waite-Smith system. There's Thoth symbology in this deck as well. So there's a lot going on. We've got Sanctuary of Isis here with the priestess. The Empress. Okay. Love that swan. The Emperor. The Eagle. We've got the lovely Ankh here. He's holding a pentacle. He's got ram horns, the mountains in the background. Like there's so much in each of these cards that I don't know. I have a feeling that months of reading, you're still going to find symbols and, you know, little things hidden in the pictures of each of these cards that you didn't spot the first time. Okay, so we've got our Hierophant, the Holy See. Our Lovers card, look at that. And it's just gorgeous. Chariot. Our 2 Sphinxes. And then Strength is actually the Force, which I love that. And we have here in the back the same symbol that we had in the Magician, if you'll notice here, which is that, I don't know, I always refer to it as like the Orin from Neverending Story. Although I know that this symbol has a much more older connotation. It's an older symbol than, you know, than that, but because of my childhood, that's the first thing that I always come to think of. Wow. So this Hermit is, there's a lot going on here with this card. There's a lot going on with each of the cards, but I love it. I love it so much. There's so much to see. We have our Wheel of Fortune, although in this case, in this deck, Wheel of Life is what we have here with the Sphinxes. The Chancellor for Justice here. And you're going to find a lot of angels in this deck. This is a very esoteric deck, very occult deck. Our Hanged Man, the Outlaw that we have. Death. That. I love her artwork too. I mean, she's just so magnificent at it. So we've got Temperance here. The Devil that she's rewritten, the Demon. So we had the Angel and the Demon. Okay. The Tower. You guys know that if I love the Tower, I'm going to love the deck. And this Tower is just amazing. Love that Tower. We have our Star card, the Healer. Interesting. So our Moon is the Necromancer, Gateway of Resurrection. Interesting. And we've got a Scarab up here. We still have the Moon in between the two towers. Instead of, I mean, we've got dogs down here, but it feels like they might be like servants of Anubis. Is kind of how that feels, at least to me. I don't know how that feels to you guys. And our Sun here is the Warrior. Look at that. Beautiful. For Judgment, we have Apocalypse. I like that. Last Judgment is what it says on the bottom. And then our World is New World Order. And so, Sacred Fire, Ace of Scepters. So we've got Scepters here in place of Wands. Not quite sure what the other suits are going to bring, but Scepters is definitely, I mean, that's a more Gnostic choice, I feel like. Oh, so we've got all of the aces together. Okay, so rather than going through suit, we're going through the numbers, okay? So Ace of Chalices, okay. Should be cups. We do have swords here. And orbs. We have orbs for pentacles. Very gorgeous. And I think the reason why they're in this order is because that's the order in which she drew them. She did all of the aces at one time, then all of the twos, all of the threes. So that makes a lot of sense here. Oh, I love that Two of Swords. So definitely a deck that you want to carefully look at the symbology. I'm not sure that this is a deck that I would be using for clients. Really at any time. Even when I start really diving into working with it and getting in touch with its symbology, because of the way that it was consecrated, because of the intention behind it, I really feel like this is going to be a very personal tool. One for, oh, and we have, so we have threes, and then we jumped into Archangels. are those all of the fours? Let's look at this here for a second, guys. Or I think we have angels, we have shields, we have shining. I think maybe, and then strongholds. I think maybe we have the court cards here. Let me just double check this. Do we all of a sudden go into fours? We do. Okay. So I'm going to pull these aside because I want to save these and go through them here really kind of in order. Kind of jumped out at me. So what were we talking about? Using this deck is a very personal tool. I would like to use this deck. We've got the Four of Scepters here. Which this is gorgeous for Four of Wands. Like, I see that celebratory just feel of this deck. The castle in the background, like this is gorgeous. Oh, and this Four of Chalices. Really love it. There's something very familiar yet other about the imagery in this deck that, oh, I like that. That really feels like I just need to take a personal journey with it. And I don't know if other folks who have picked up this deck, who were able to snag this deck, feel the same way that I do. Or if you guys are looking at this and you're like, this is just a normal deck that I would use, you know, in everyday situations. I don't know that I would even use this deck for generic readings for myself, if that makes sense. I feel like this really needs to be limited in its use for, most likely for shadow work, for really deep spiritual dives, examinations, just looking at everything that's being poured into this deck. Do you ever have situations where you've bought a tool, you have every intention of using it fully, but it's so special and so pretty that you don't want to use it? You just kind of want to keep it like all to yourself. It's kind of how I'm feeling about this deck, you guys. We have our Seven of Scepters, our Seven of Chalices, and this is interesting because we have different animals symbolizing, you know, I feel like aspects or attributes of items that you would have seen in the goblets or the chalices in other decks as well, which is interesting. I like that take on it. Our Seven of Swords, that Thief in the Night. Okay, our Seven of Orbs. And I like that she used non-traditional titles. And yet we still have that very familiar feel of symbology here. This is just an amazing work of art, in my opinion. Gorgeous work. That I can't wait to work with. Ten of Scepters, or Ten of Cups, Ten of Swords, got that Destroyer, and our Ten of Orbs, that Tree of Life right there. The Dynasty. Okay, now I want to double check and make sure that the Archangels are where the pages are. Hopefully she'll have that in her book here. So there is a companion book, the Book of Maps, that I haven't printed yet. This is just the little white book. There's actually a much larger book that comes with it that you can print. You get the digital files, and then you can print it through lulu.com. So she goes into to say kind of, you know, how this was created, how you would read it. She has them, the major arcana, broken up into the septenaries. So we have, let's see, minor arcana, aces, twos, threes, and then holy guardians. What? Okay, so the court cards for each of these. The court cards are, let's see, we have our holy guardians of fire, water, air, and earth. Okay, so this actually backwards. So our archangels are kings, okay? Our shields are queens, right? And then our okay, hold on. So our kings are angels. The knights are the virtues or the shining ones. And then our pages are the strongholds or messengers. Okay, so we have, let's see here. So the Archangel of Glory, and you can tell because of the imagery within it, you know, we've got Angel of Art and Grace. This is, you know, our wands, our scepters here. So this is our King of Wands. Okay. Our King of Cups. Archangel of Angel who salves and purifies is what we have on here. Archangel of Healing. We have our Archangel Commander. Okay, this is our King of Swords, Angel of Storms and Battles. And then we have our Archangel of Mysteries, our King of Pentacles, or Orbs, is the cases with this deck. Angel who illuminates the shadow. And now we have the Golden Shield. Okay, power and authority of fire. This is our Queen of Scepters or Wands. The Ivory Shield, yes. Power and authority of water. This is our Queen of Cups. The Scarlet Shield, power and authority over air, our Queen of Swords. And then the Ebony Shield, power and authority over earth, our Queen of Orbs. And then we have the Shining Flame. So this is the Knight of Scepters. This is lightning and the pyre. And you can see, you know, we've got the traditional, we've got horses in here for our knights. And yes, we've got a horse in each one. So we've got the Shining Dew, Waters and Waves. This is our Knight of Cups. The Shining Winds, a Swirling Gale. This is our Knight of Swords. The Shining Quarry, Wild and Fertile Land, our Knight of Orbs. And then the Stronghold of Flame. So this is our page or messenger, okay, of wands or scepters. This is the Herald of the Awakening. Then we have Stronghold of the Grail. Of course, we would have the Holy Grail in there. Herald of the Purifying. Okay, so this is our page or messenger of cups. Stronghold of the zephyrs, you know, the winds. So we've got the Herald of Communicating. Okay, this is our page or messenger of swords. And then our last one, our page messenger of orbs, the stronghold of the veil, herald of the darkening. Got a wolf in the background too. So yeah, pretty interesting that each of these is, you know, what you would see is the queenside castle. So we even have a bit of chess symbology in here, you know, with the pages being the rooks, the knights being the knights, right? The queens being the queens. Or I guess shields here, which in chess symbology, the queen is the king's shield. You know, she's the one piece that can move around the entire board in any direction, any number of spaces. And then, you know, you have our kings symbolized as archangels, which is really interesting, you know, to have so much angel symbology in this deck. So really, really fantastic. Love everything about just the black and white, the gilded edges, the black background, how much detail and symbolism is presented even in the titles, the little notations at the bottom of the border, the symbols cut into the corners in each of the card, you know, the line work itself is really amazing. So she goes on to explain each of the arcanas in the sets that she created them in, the 8s, the 9s, the 10s, etc. And so I really feel like you're going to get the most from the Book of Maps, which unfortunately I don't have to show you guys. Sorry, it's still being printed. This deck came quicker than I had anticipated, but this little white book is nothing to sneer at either. There is a lot of information in here. There is 79 pages in this book. You know, if you count the back, 80. So there's quite a lot here to go off of. And this is a pretty hefty deck. Like I said, there's a lot here to break down. So if you're interested in checking out this deck a little bit more and you happen to miss the pre-order for this first edition, she only printed 1,000 decks. It's a very limited run. And if you happen to miss it, you can still get information and details about the deck on Benebell's website. You know, you would even be able to look at the images, maybe even print them off on cardstock and color them in and do your own work with them. But this is a work of art here, an absolute work of art. And I feel really, really blessed that I was able to get my hands on a copy, specifically copy number 405, which I'll have to look up the symbology of later. It's not lost on me that when you add those 3 numbers up together, it equals a 9, which is my life path number in numerology. So, you know, there's more ways than one that this was the right deck that was supposed to come to me. So very excited about this. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little unboxing here, this quick walkthrough, if you will. I know that my camera is not the best at focusing, working on getting some new equipment here. Thank you for being patient with me. as I navigate the waters of trying to get the right setup here for this YouTube channel. But being a, mom on a budget in San Diego, California, one of the most expensive places to live, resources are a bit limited. So we're working with what we got right now, and hopefully here I can get a better setup in 2019. So thank you guys for watching. And if you'd like to see more, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future videos. Check out all of Benebell's stuff below. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. If you did enjoy this stack, you're really going to love her Metaphysician's Planner. So I highly recommend that you grab one of those. It's $25 for the planner. If you give her your birth details, she will include your chart for 2019 in your planner. Okay, you get the digital files. This is just like what I had mentioned with the Book of Maps. You get the digital files to download and keep. And in the size that you choose, let her know which size that you would like your files formatted in. I personally like the 6x9 because it fits inside my purse, and then I get it spiral bound printed from lulu.com. She gives everything to you, including instructions on how to upload and print it. It's only like $10 to print your planner. If you lose it, something goes wrong, you have the digital files to get it printed a second time. That's what's so awesome about this, having those digital files. So it's well worth the investment, I promise. If you, if you have a craft practice that relies on timing with moon phases, with astrological phases, the whole gambit, it's well worth the investment to go with this planner and then say a more generic one, which just kind of gives you the moon phases and that's it. And then holidays. Here's your full moon, here's your new moon, here's what day Christmas falls on. Not much there to it, but with Benebell's Metaphysician's Planner, and this video is not sponsored, okay? I just really like this planner and recommend that if you did like this deck, you go check out the planner, okay? So that's all I had for this video, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one already. But until that time comes, blessed be.